Hi, this is Abul Hussain coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the SMMA Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you can start or scale your digital marketing agency. Now, if you are watching this interview outside of our Facebook group, make sure to find the link above or below this video or go to smmamastermind.com. Now, with that out of the way, I have a very special guest joining me today, all the way from California. Now, she is the founder of Digital Marketing Doctor, and she's been in this space for well over a decade and has a lot to share from her experience. Now, for 12 years, she specialized in working with medical practices and is now working more with corporate clients. Judy Lin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Abdul. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you very much for joining me. Now, for the viewers who don't know who you are, why don't you give a little bit of a background into who you are, how you got into the digital marketing space? Because I know you've been around since around 2004.
Yes, that's correct. So I actually started off with corporate marketing, and I worked for some businesses and corporations, and I moved into the internet industry. So I had to, sorry about that, I had to merge from corporate marketing into digital. I was director of paid search and director of digital marketing for several companies. And then after about 15 years, I decided to go off on my own and created my own agency. So now we offer search engine optimization, paid search, content marketing, video, podcasting, paid media, web design, and pretty much the full gamut for search marketing.
That's quite amazing, because
Yes.
obviously you'll see some agencies out there that might specialize just in content creation or organic social or paid search. How comes you chose to kind of have everything under a one-stop shop?
Right. Well, it happened organically. I didn't really plan this whole journey, to be honest. I mean, I was actually an English major with a writing emphasis, but I started off in marketing. And then when I did go off on my own as a freelancer, so, you know, we all start from somewhere. And I did start with content and doing lots of writing and some SEO. And then the clients would ask for more. And they would need, let's say, a WordPress design, or they need a video. And so it was a very organic process where I just went ahead and started adding more and more people, a graphic designer, an SEO specialist, a web designer, videographer. So it was more of out of need, and it just blossomed to a bigger team than I had expected.
Mm-hmm. Right, great. And in terms of working with medical practices for the first 12 years of your agency, how did that come about?
I worked for an eye surgeon in Newport Beach, California, originally, and I was with him for about 6 years. And you know, at the time, it was a small client. The small client became the biggest client, and then I added more medical doctors in the area by referral and through other people that I worked with. So again, that was something that just happened and flowed naturally. I didn't really aggressively look for anything. It just kind of fell into my lap. So I did work for an eye surgeon, a stem cell doctor, regenerative medicine, orthopedic surgeon, several other ones, pain specialist, an emergency doctor, even a medical consulting business where the lady actually helped she helped undergrads get into medical schools.
Oh,
so yeah, it was a very interesting area of medical practices. It's not easy to work for doctors, you know.
I can imagine.
Yes, but it was fun.
Right. Okay. No, that's quite interesting. So you mentioned that you got quite a few referrals, and then you expanded your practice. A lot of people who watch this show are kind of startup agencies or digital marketers, and so they're constantly prospecting for new clients. Did you have to go out and build a prospecting system, do cold calling, cold emailing? How did that side of the business look for you?
Well, initially in the beginning when I started, yes, I did have to do that. I mean, I applied for jobs like a normal person. So it wasn't that at the time back then, that I had a full agency. I was still, being hired as an individual because of my background, my resume. So I did apply for jobs on a consulting business. And then as it continued on, then I got bigger and my team got bigger. And then I didn't have to do as much of that kind of individual applying for job anymore. Then it became more like referrals that I got from doing great work for specific clients that referred me to their network.
That's actually a great tip that you shared, whether you know
Yes.
you shared it or not, because
Oh yeah.
because obviously you had employers putting out posts for someone that they wish to hire. So
Right.
they already had money, they had a budget to
Right.
for the right person. So then you
Right.
for a job, and obviously you signed them up as a client. Whereas
Right.
prospecting, a lot of people are speaking to business owners who might not even have that budget, you know, or
Right.
really seeking a specialist consultant out. So thank you for sharing that tip. And
You're welcome.
you're focused more on, I suppose, the corporate side of things now. What is it, the same kind of offering that you have for your corporate clients, or how does it differ?
Well, there's different ways of looking at it because corporate clients have bigger budgets, so you can do more. And depending the size of the budget, a medical practice, unless it's like a hospital or a bigger entity, I understand. But yes, there's a major difference in the marketing budget per month. You know, if you're working, let's just say we're doing paid search, the sponsor ads for AdWords, right? And someone gives you $5,000 a month to do paid search versus, let's say, you know, 50,000.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, even though there's tricks to specific strategies in paid search that you can optimize with even small budgets. But the fact is, it does help a lot, not just in the scale of paid search, but in SEO and video and podcasting. But the money that's being spent is being used in a very positive and very lasting way, because when you put money in the budget for SEO, for example, it's almost evergreen on the internet, right? So if you do content marketing, blogs, case studies, you know, press release, anything that goes on Google search, it stays there until someone decides to take it off. So your mileage of your endeavors are a lot longer with SEO than paid search.
And I suppose to the topic of this episode, digital marketing and SEO, why it's important for businesses. You know, a lot of people might be watching this who have not kind of gone digital quite yet,
right? Still
using maybe the yellow pages, if that still exists in the US, or they're using other offline.
There is online yellow pages, yes.
Yeah.
We call them like just directories and citations now, right? So
yeah, they have that in the UK as well. So, I mean, why is digital marketing important, and why should businesses start focusing more on digital?
Right. So, I mean, traditional marketing is still needed. So for those people that don't know what traditional marketing is, it's similar to corporate marketing that you do, let's say, radio, TV, print, you know, magazines, newspapers. Those are kind of the antiquated ads. It's basically print. And, you know, we're living in a digital world right now in the 21st century, and everyone's Googling everything. That's the first source that people go to, right? So if you're not being found on Google and your site is not optimized, you're pretty much anonymous. No one knows who you are. And if you're a store or brick and mortar or even e-commerce, you still need to do some level of promotions and advertising, because the end goal is to get found on Google search through SEO, paid search, any of the ways. If someone watching a video, if they Google you, let's say you're looking for a sushi restaurant in your area in UK, you know, you're going to see the search results show up. And if your restaurant is not even being crawled and not even being listed, that's pretty much a major problem. You know, you're not even being seen by the world. So digital strategies, there are many digital strategies in order for a business to be found on Google search. And that's what we do in SEO.
So looking at SEO, there's quite a few people out there, after Google Panda and all of those different updates are saying SEO is dead, or it's complicated, or it takes a lot of time. How
Mhm.
SEO landscape changed, because you've seen it over the last
Yeah,
decade, and what is working now, uh,
right.
as opposed to, what did 10 years ago.
Well, artificial intelligence is a really big deal right now, right? So, and artificial intelligence does play in Google search. I would definitely say that the quality of your content and editorial is number one. So I'm not saying that technical SEO is not important. It's still important, like on page and off page SEO, that's still needed. Backlinks, yes, they're still needed, but I would focus more on delivering high quality content on the editorial side, on the video side, and the podcasting side, because these are forms of media, and if they're high quality and compelling topic, that is going to draw audiences a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of kind of creating fresh content, how
Yes.
early should someone be creating content? Should that be on a daily, a monthly basis?
Yeah. So I think for blogs, definitely on a monthly basis. I mean, it doesn't have to be like every week. I mean, I would say at least minimum and realistically once a month. Most of my clients probably do four a month. That's pretty, as long as there's regular fresh content, then it gets picked up by Google search as well. So you do, and even on your website, you want to refresh at least quarterly. But anytime you have a new product, a new announcement, let's say a new hire, that is something that you do want to publish on your website, or a new product offering, a new technology, you do want to publish that on the website, and perhaps a press release. So this is actually a strategy where you can merge corporate marketing and digital. Is let's say you have a new hire, right? Then you do a press release and you syndicate it on, let's say, PR Newswire. Well, you just basically developed a strong, authentic backlink with one of the top 3 newswires. That's great,
Yeah.
So there's different ways to kind of, merge what I call traditional and digital in that way, because you're optimizing and using it in a very clever way. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
And you touched on backlinks, and
Yes.
10, 15 years ago, it was a case of,
Yes.
backlinks with Zoomer,
Yes.
one of these softwares, and you were number one. How important are backlinks now in terms of
Yeah.
getting ranked on the first page?
I'm not really into backlink farming, so to speak, like where you just pay a service and they give you an X amount of backlinks, and then who knows what they're backlinking to. So I'm not into that kind of farming of it. It's more of you're building relationships with specific industry leaders, or legit authoritative sites, or people that have strong domain ranking. That makes more sense. I mean, it has to be developed through relationships, or
Right.
like .edu links are still considered very valuable just because of who you're linking with. Let's say Harvard.edu. I think it's .edu for them too, but yeah.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
do you, as part of your service for your clients, do you go out to build those relationships, or is this,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes. We
Right.
build the relationships, and we also review what kind of links they are. So there's value only in high authority sites, and it has to make sense, because you're basically affiliating your client with, let's say, for example, it has to have some sort of relevance. If there's no relevance in the links of your client's business, it makes no sense, really. I mean, I think there's different approaches to it. Some people might say, well, it's still in geolocation, but it's in real estate. And how is real estate related to pizza, for example, So I look more at relevance of, as a potential partner. That's how I see backlinks.
Okay. No, that's a great approach, and I think that's.
Yes.
I mean, it's the best white hat approach.
I definitely do. I don't touch the black hats.
No, absolutely. I'm not going to insinuate you do either.
Yes.
But it's good to know the difference between the two. And
Yes.
I suppose,
Yes.
a lot of these techniques have evolved and they are always trying to evolve to stay ahead of.
Right. Well, everyone, the
algorithm.
black hat's just like this, quick way, and who knows the legal stuff,
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, so when you're working with someone who's, I suppose they're a domain authority and their presence online might be quite fresh, might be quite new, or might be quite weak, if you like. How long does it take typically to see results?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, to be really honest, SEO is a somewhat nebulous industry, right? And we try to concrete everything, but you can't really guarantee anything, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I say to clients, 3 months if you get some traction, 6 months to see some real organic rankings, a year to see it fully indexing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's more of a realistic approach. I've never really seen anything that, well, actually podcasting, I've seen it though. I don't know if you know, but if you do podcast snippets and videos and audio, it could crawl pretty quickly in 3-4 days.
I suppose it depends on where you upload it.
Right. And and you got to know where the platforms are. So that's the only medium that I've seen that has quickly shown results in less than a week is podcasting and video. Yeah. But the organic rankings are very difficult depending on what industry and also how competitive those keywords are.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's an investment. It's not a quick, like paid search. If you're launching a product, I would go paid search immediately because your sponsor ad is showing up immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you do paid search, let's say for 3 months, then you slowly migrate to SEO, and then you start investing in SEO for long term. But I mean, if you just have to blend it and combine in the right way to get the best results for your business.
Great. So let's kind of a little bit about paid search.
Sure.
A lot of people, to them, it's still, I suppose, another language, if you like, and it's an auction and there's bidding and
yes,
all of that. What's the best practices for paid search these days?
Gosh, it's a very complex endeavor. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still do paid search today, and it feels like you're watching a stock market. That's what it seems like. But I would not allocate, unless you're a really large company and you have the budget to support it. But let's say if you're a small medical practice or a small business, I would not allocate too much money in paid search. I mean, I think there's different things in there right now with ad extensions that can be very useful. Like, for example, I have a contact center client that I do a lot of call-in ads. I call them call-in ads. Basically, they're ads that you produce, and there's a tracking system on the back end where they can record your duration of your minutes and where the area code is coming from and which campaigns or ads you're looking at. So it tells you a bit about the audience and where they're coming from, and it's trackable. So that's probably my favorite ad. And then there's image ads and there's video ads. So there's many forms. I just think you just need to assess for your client what is the most applicable and what is the most profitable.
Okay, then that definitely makes sense. Now, obviously, getting the click is one part of the equation. Getting people to convert is another part of the equation as well. And I've seen ads that land to really poor landing pages. So
that's another issue, is landing pages. Yes.
But when you're designing landing pages for your clients, is there like a checklist that you follow?
Yes.
Are there kind of standard procedures?
Definitely. So I think we just recently produced about 15 landing pages for a contact center company. So basically, we design customized landing pages based on the targets that they're after on the niches. So let's say e-commerce or franchises or real estate. So it depends on who you're going after. You design and write the messaging according to the niche that you're servicing. And then, of course, you want to design the image ads to correlate with the industry and what your copy says as well. So it does matter, because a landing page is your one-page advertisement to be as compelling as possible for people to click, to push them through the sales funnel, as I call it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So usually the landing page has some sort of form that you fill out where you click and submit, and it takes you to a lead form. So that's how you start generating leads.
Right. And I know you've mentioned that you were a paid search director, and you focus a lot on paid search. Does your agency do any paid social at all?
Yeah, we still offer paid search now for clients. So it's one of our major core services that we do. So it's SEO, paid search, paid media, like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads, all of that. Those three, and of course, content marketing. I mean, that's the core, plus video and podcasting. I would say all those different services are needed on an ongoing basis, because you're needing that to advertise and produce content regularly.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a lot of service. So how many members of your team do you actually have to work on all of these?
Well, I don't have that many, but it's like less than 10, but we all run pretty efficiently, and
right.
We're a pretty lean team. We all work remotely, and most of us are based in Northern Cal or Southern Cal, and there's a few over in, I think, Kentucky. Yeah, somewhere in Midwest,
right.
too. Like, I think Kentucky was one of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But we all work remotely, yes.
Yeah, it's still a good number of people to actually do this, rather than being a one-man.
I can't do it by myself. I mean, it's nearly impossible. I used to do 90% of all the work by myself, but I can't be a graphic designer, a web designer. Things are too much on that side of it. I can't do, and my team has been really awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. That's absolutely great that you can delegate some of the tasks as well.
Yes.
Final question for you is, obviously we've spoken quite a bit about different digital marketing tactics, if you like. How do you see digital marketing evolving over the next 12 months, especially now with the whole pandemic? There's a lot of local businesses that have had to shut down, can't people locally.
I mean, it's kind of a contradiction in some ways, because I see that for some of my clients, they actually are excelling. Some businesses are excelling in this pandemic and some are not. And it depends on what you're offering, right? But I would definitely say, if I had a small business, let's say an e-commerce or brick and mortar, whatever it is that I have, this is the time to amp up everything, because because of the pandemic, I mean, there's limitations of where you can go, what you can do, and so forth. And this is a great opportunity time to upgrade what you have. I mean, if I were, let's say, a pizza owner or whatever it is, I mean, I would just go all in for digital marketing services, because this is the time where people probably Google the most, and you want to make yourself seen on Google search, and amping up your website, amping up your social media marketing, your videos, your podcasting, your branding, that all matters.
Okay, that obviously makes sense. I think people are checking more on their smartphones.
Yes, and mobile too. Exactly, mobile ads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So
I mean, it's sorry.
Carry on. Carry on.
No, please. Yes, Abdul, please.
No, I was waiting for you to finish.
Oh no, I just want to say, like, in general, you have to be in digital marketing. I mean, if you're not, you're pretty much out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to be very hard to sustain your business if you're not part of technology in today's world of, economics and how you do business online. You have to evolve with the times.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Digital is, yeah.
And you want to go digital, then obviously Judy is a great person to reach out to. She's been at the forefront of digital marketing for the last 16 plus years. So, if you, I suppose, want experience, she's definitely got it. Now, on that note, Judy Lin, founder of Digital Marketing Doctor, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Abdul. It was fun. Thanks so much.